my name's Ashley with UrbanAsh, and today on Seattle Insider, we're meeting with Carla, owner of Honey Crumb Cake Studio here in Belltown, Lower Queen Anne area. We're going to talk a little bit about her business, the neighborhood, and about Carla personally. So thank you so much for having us.
Thank you for coming to my bakery.
So Carla, tell us a little bit about the history of Honey Crumb Cake Studio.
We started in 2010, and at the time I was in Oregon, and I was baking in my little home kitchen for fun. And at some point, because I had a different career then, I was in women's healthcare, I was very stressed out and wanted to have a release. And baking was a way for me to burn off my stress and make something creative.
Yep.
And I'd always been creative as a kid, so there was a moment where I realized that I inherently was an artist and that I was trying to do all these other things that were not in the artistic field and were not leading me toward an artistic profession, and that was fundamentally a mistake. It's the joke about being an artist and then it will catch up with you sometime. And so I started Honey Crumb unofficially in like 2009 or so, but my first actual paying orders that were made in a legal environment, a licensed environment, were 2010.
Gotcha.
And I had at that time one very brave and willing bride whom I had told that I had never made a wedding cake before, but if she was willing, because I had made other cakes and I imagined a wedding cake was not that much different, it was just stacked and delivered with some higher level of stress, that I would charge her for the ingredients and I would give her the labor for free. And it worked out so well that cake was still in my portfolio for 5 or so years.
That same design.
That particular cake.
All right, so to some fun questions here. Do you love cake?
I do love cake. I absolutely love cake. I mean, I love the concept of cake. I love the art form of cake.
Yeah.
I love eating it. I just don't make a habit of eating it. I think one thing that happens if you're around cake all the time and you're in the pastry world is that the novelty wears off a little, right? And I'll eat cake when it's somebody's birthday, usually mine, because I think birthdays are a big deal.
Yeah.
And I'll eat cake when I'm developing recipes and I really need to make sure that something's working. But the rest of the time, the cake part is a science. So if I bake the recipe the way that it's been developed and I follow the instructions, I know it's going to turn out the same way each time and I don't have to taste it.
Yep.
And that way I'm different than a savory chef who needs to have a bunch of tasting spoons and keep that under control.
That makes sense. I never thought of that.
And I think it's great that way because it means that for me even, it's a special thing. It's not an everyday thing, nor should it be. It should be a special occasion, and it's to celebrate life.
Yep. What's your favorite cake flavor?
My all-time favorite thing that's ever been on our menu is a brown sugar cake. It's super buttery and super tender and has like a little bit of molasses. The little bit of molasses flavor from the brown sugar, but not so much brown sugar that it tastes really caramelly or cloyingly sweet. It's still quite light. And my favorite pairing with that is a boysenberry puree folded into our buttercream, which is a Swiss meringue buttercream, which isn't very sweet and is very silky. And it has a little bit of cassis in it as well, this particular buttercream. And cassis is blackcurrant liqueur, so it has a very bright, floral, like fruity flavor. That is, for me, just money. It's golden.
So what awards have you won?
That's fun. That's fun to talk about. I don't ever tell my clients. I just hope that they find that information. We don't even have the awards in here on the wall. Because there's part of me that thinks it's like, well, yeah, right, you put that on the table, but there's part of me that thinks it's kind of obnoxious, right? If I have to tell you, then it probably doesn't matter to you.
Yeah.
We've won a Seattle Bride Award for Best Wedding Cakes. In 2014 was the first time we won. Yep. And then again in 2016, 2017, and just recently, a couple of weeks ago, we won for 2018. And I was yelling and screaming and super happy and dancing my happy dance. Thank you. Yeah. And we also this year got nominated for Best Groom's Cakes, which was great. We got nominated last year as well. We have a wonderful group of colleagues who make absolutely incredible Food Network worthy custom groom's cakes in the city, and they've beaten us for 2 years in a row, and I think it's totally fine and totally legit because they're great.
Well, Carla, thank you so much for having us today.
You're so welcome, Ash.
It's been a joy sitting here and talking to you about your business and learning a little bit more about you. And you do a fabulous job. Your cakes are delicious.
Thank you.
For all you out there, you can visit honeycrumb.com for additional information. And thank you again.
Thank you. It was so much fun.